And Manchester United lose 1-3 or 3-1 to Crystal Palace. Totally deserved. Totally deserved. I cannot argue with that result. I can be destroyed, disgraced and embarrassed by it, and I certainly am. But that is an opening day loss by 3-1 to Crystal Palace. But I wanted to open up this stream with something really important and say this. I said this at the start of the week and I'll say it now. Manchester United, the board, and whoever you want to blame, but do not move away from this point. And there's a lot to talk about tonight, but do not move away from this point. The season started today and we lost 3 points today. We've lost 3 points today because our board decided to gamble 3 points away by trying to save money. We are not prepared for this season. You cannot be a hypocrite. You cannot spend all week saying we're going to struggle to finish in the top 4. We're not ready for this season. We've had too many off the field issues. We haven't made the signings we need to do. You cannot say all those things and then be surprised when we don't deliver. You cannot be surprised when the centre-backs are not good enough. You cannot be surprised when the width is not good enough. You cannot be surprised when we don't create chances and we get played off the park. This club did this in January and we let 3 points go to Burnley by not getting Bruno in quick. We've done it again. We have prided ourselves on putting business and bank balances ahead of points and status in the football table. Manchester United Football Club gambled and failed. And a part of me is not happy about that because I want Manchester United to win. But if you go to battle with a stick of celery against swords, you will probably lose. And that is what Manchester United board did today. If you want to put any blame on anybody, you keep that blame focused. You blame the board. You blame the Glazers. Because we've gone into a season ill-prepared, tired, lacking confidence, with the same team we finished last season, expecting a different outcome. We lost that game today because the manager and the team has not been invested in and has still got the same failings it had last year. If you're Roy Hodgson today and you look at that United side, you know how to beat it because it's the same way you would have beaten it last season. Disgraceful, underperforming, bad performance, and ultimately we gambled on beating Crystal Palace and trying to save money on signings over the next couple of weeks that should have been made 2, 3, 4 weeks ago. And this keeps happening at this football club because we are a business and we are not a football club. And everybody keeps saying it and nobody wants to do anything about it because nobody can do anything about it. But whilst you're sat there sulking with your steak and chips later, sipping on your beer or your apple juice, think on this. You're getting bantered, you're upset, your weekend is destroyed because bank managers want to save money rather than bloody putting a team out to win games. And that is the disgrace. And that is the upset. And that is the problem at Manchester United. We've got the best fans in the world, the most passionate fans in the world, and we want to be successful. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said yesterday, when asked about the social media unrest, he was asked yesterday what he thought of it. And he said, Manchester United fans want to see the best Manchester United side, and we want that passion. And he was right. We do want that passion. That is not the best Manchester United side, and that is not good enough. We are meant to be, this season, closing a gap on Liverpool. That gap will be bigger. It will be bigger because we are not good enough. We've probably just put ourselves into a race for 4th place already. You don't drop 3 points at home to Crystal Palace and get in a title race. It's over. Anybody who thought there was an outside chance of a title race, it's over. Anybody who thinks that Jadon Sancho improves our title chances, it doesn't. We needed a centre-back. We needed a centre-back. We're not getting a centre-back. Lindelof, through different reasons, cost us 3 goals today. First goal doesn't stop the cross. Second goal handballs it. Third goal gets embarrassed. We need a centre-back to play next to Harry Maguire. And this has been known for a long time. And we've decided not to do it. Now, do you think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer went, I need a centre-back, but I tell you what, let's not do it. He'll have had the chat and they've gone, there's no money. This is Manchester United. Ed Woodward, in the bloody Man United programme today, spoke about COVID. COVID. It's making it hard for everybody and we're no different. Aston Villa have spent 30 million. Liverpool have spent 40 million. You know, teams are spending money. You're a bloody prat, mate. You know, Manchester United fans are not stupid. You are bleeding this club dry and trying to sell us water that we can get for free. You know, it's ridiculous what we're doing. Ridiculous. And I've not even started on the football side of things, but I'm telling you now, I said this and many of you said it, we're not prepared for this season and we've been talking about it for weeks. Oh, we'll get a couple of signings in at the end of the transfer window. The season started today. You cannot go into the Premier League and go, we'll buy a couple of players in a couple of weeks and we'll win the first couple of games. We should have won today, by the way. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. We should have won that today, but we didn't improve the first 11. I'll tell you what, Van der Beek scored his first goal. Already I can see a huge problem there. Pogba and Bruno are two of our best players. You've got to take one of them off to get Van der Beek on, which is great for squad depth. Absolutely brilliant. But we haven't filled the real holes. We've got no right winger. We've got no centre defensive midfielder when Matic gets injured, and we've got no centre back. So we are in big problems. It's all right getting a left back, and Luke Shaw was shit today. He was, but so were so many other players. But you got to do more than that. You can get your player ratings in, by the way. I've not said this. The website is working, unitedstand.com. Get over there, get your player ratings in, and we'll go to the player ratings in a minute. But look, this is the problem. I really wanted to get this in at the start. A lot of people going in on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I wouldn't normally say this, but I think it's wrong. And I'll tell you why it's wrong. Because there's some people out there who have an agenda against Ole Gunnar Solskjaer who will be more than happy to bring it back and say, I told you so, he's a PE teacher, I'm telling you, Ole's not good enough. Idiots. Idiots, in my opinion, because all you're going to do is confuse the argument. We have got to take a big hit here. We ain't winning the league. But you've got to take, as a Manchester United fan, you've got to think, what's more important to me? Sacking another manager so a new manager comes in and doesn't get backed and gets sacked, or focusing all of your frustration on the owners and the board? Because whether Ole's good enough or not, I've said this before, if a board comes in who wants to be successful, they'll probably remove a manager they don't think is good enough anyway. But with the Glazers remove another manager, whoever comes in, the manager will not be backed. Mourinho, Van Gaal, Moyes, Solskjaer. They've all not been backed how they wanted to. They've all ended up with players that were not their first or second choices. So if you're now sitting here tonight going, Ole out, all you're doing is diluting the argument and helping the Glazers out. This is not the time to start going after Ole. I'm telling you now, even if we lose the next 4 games of the season, I think we've got to be more intelligent. I think we've got to be more intelligent because by going after Ole, you move away from the Glazers and you certainly can't be critical of both and get an outcome because it will just end up with a new manager. And also, you can't be a hypocrite and say, Ole's been thrown under the bus, Ole's not been backed, Ole's going to be in trouble, Ole's going to struggle this season because he's not been backed. And then the first bad result, you go, oh, Ole's shit. Ole's shit. It's not, I think Ole got a lot wrong today. And I'll tell you what I thought he got wrong. But ultimately, I think we need to stay on target here. This club is being run into the ground. This club is in major trouble. And this club is at fault because of the Glazers and the board. It is not acceptable. We are not... How can you expect to be in the top 4 when we're not even in the top 8 ambitious clubs in the transfer window in the league? It's not rocket science. Yes, we've got good players, but we're not ambitious. This always happens. We get in the Champions League and the brakes go on. The handbrake goes on. We're not spending. We're not doing anything. We're where we want to be, and then it's back in the Europa League again. Back again. You've got to stay on target with this. It's the Glazers and it's the board. We've got to stay on target. The pressure needs to be on them. They've sent us into a season with a celery stick for a sword and a bloody breadstick shield. And it's been shattered today by Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace at the end of last season lost 7 or 8 games in a row. They're not a good team. Leeds will batter us. They're a good team. And I'm not even talking about the top 6. We will get battered playing like that. We were absolutely shocking. The confidence levels are on the floor. We've got a hangover. Look, I can't even start. Look, let's talk about the team performance before we do the player ratings. Look, the best thing is Manchester United are acting like Billy Big Bollocks. We ain't spending that much money on Sancho. We ain't spending that much money on Tellez. We ain't spending that much money on Reguilon. Whoever you're talking to now, do you think they're going to give you those players cheap? They've just watched that Palace game and they've gone, Yo, desperate. You will pay the price or you will look an idiot. Look, let's talk about the game because you know what? I genuinely believe you've got to keep the pressure on the board because they've sent us into a season ill-prepared. However, I I'm not stupid, despite what people say. There was a lot wrong with that game today. A lot wrong with that game today. We'll do the player ratings in a minute. 6 is average. UnitedStand.com. You've still got time to get your scores in, and they'll be aggregated when I put mine in. We'll see yours against mine. But I just want to say this. How did Scott McTominay play 90 minutes today? That's on the manager. I said at the start of the game, go back on the watch along when the team news came out an hour before kickoff. I said to Flex, I don't understand why Scott McTominay's starting. He played against Crystal Palace in this role 2 months ago and got took off at half time. He was terrible. He's been terrible as a CDM every time I've seen him play there. That's his worst performance in the United shirt today, and he played 90 minutes. He should have been taken off at half time, and he played 90 minutes. Pogba could have played that role, and Pogba got took off, and McTominay stayed on. I'm sorry, that's on the manager. Fred played brilliant in the Europa League game. We lost the Europa League semi-final to Sevilla because of our defence. We lost today because of our defence and our centre defensive midfielder. If Fred had played today, we would have played better. I don't understand what Fred's got to do. If Fred was going to be sold and Thiago was going to get brought in, fine. We're not getting Thiago. We've still got Fred. Fred played well in the Europa League. Sevilla are a good team, and Fred, Pogba and Bruno played well against Sevilla. That was our last game. Our first game of the season, we change it for McTominay, who puts an absolutely dreadful performance in, plays 90 minutes while Fred sat there wondering if he should put Fred the Red thing on because he might get a bit of a run out. I mean, I don't get that. I've said this before. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's not Klopp. He's not Pep. He's not Pochettino. He's not an established great coach. This is why he needs the Jadon Sanchos of this world. But that team he sent out today, Roy Hodgson will have seen it and gone, we can win. And he won. The right-hand side was dead. Fosu Mensah and Dan James. The centre defensive midfielder, McTominay, they dominated that midfield from minute 1 to minute 90. They could have won that game 5-1. Like, you know what? I'm not even going to talk about the VAR. To me, it's not a handball. It's not a handball. But I'm not going to talk about the VAR because it's irrelevant, because Crystal Palace deserved to win the game. VAR's a joke. It's a bloody joke. It's not a handball to me, but we didn't deserve to win anyway. We didn't deserve a draw. So I'm not even going to talk about that. I was angry with it at the time because it took the game out of reach, but I'm not going to talk about it any more than that because we deserve to win. We deserve to lose the game. But McTominay, I don't know how any manager in the world kept him on in the second half. I don't know how any manager in the world kept him on for 90 minutes. Every time I've seen McTominay play well, he plays box to box. He is not a centre defensive midfielder. People skip past him like they're jumping over a worm, and he gets turned like a bottle top, as he did many times in that game. He gives loads of fouls away. He's just not a centre defensive midfielder, and he's not actually got a very good passing range. He wouldn't play CDM for Bournemouth, and they got relegated last year. He would not be CDM for Bournemouth in the Championship. So why is he CDM for Manchester United? Fred should have played today. Ollie got it wrong. Dan James, why are you playing a speedster against a low block? And then on top of that, on top of those dreadful performances, the fact that we need a centre-back comes home to roost and more. You know, Lindelof, dreadful. I don't think Maguire was much better. He's the captain, awful. Luke Shaw, unfortunately, one of my favourite players, dreadful. Fosu Mensah, okay. Pogba, dreadful. I love Pogba, dreadful. Rashford, I really thought this season we might see a new Rashford. He seems to be getting worse. His confidence is on the floor. Martial, apps living off scraps. Bruno Fernandes, our best defender, as Gary Neville said. It was just awful. Absolutely awful. No tempo, slow, lacking confidence, poor movement off the ball. I don't think we had a chance in the box apart from Mason Greenwood's header. Crystal Palace had way... I mean, look, the end of the day, can I be totally blunt? Crystal Palace deserved to win that game every minute of that game. Even the goal we got for Van der Beek was fortunate that it dropped to him and he took it well. That is one of the worst performances I've seen from Manchester United. And I do agree with what Flex said. I agree with what Flex said, that regardless of the lack of transfers, we should still win that game. And we should have done. I predicted 3-1, just not to Crystal Palace, to us. I'm very worried. I'm very worried. This season was meant to be about closing a gap on Liverpool and Man City. That gap's not getting closed. We're back in a race for top four. if Arsenal beat West Ham, which I think they will, we're 6 points off Arsenal after 2 games. And yeah, we've got a game in hand, but we've just lost to Crystal Palace at home. Like, where's the next 3 points coming from? Brighton will be decent next week. I mean, I'm worried. I'm worried about Solskjaer's future. I'm worried about Manchester United's future. I'm worried we might sack another manager, and then another manager comes in, and then he doesn't get backed. I'm very, very worried. I am very worried about where we are as a football club, and I think now is the time. Anybody, please put the good of Manchester United first. Stop the infighting. Stop the, he's a Forest fan because he's from Nottingham. Just, like, stop the infighting, and can we please put the club first? And can we please have some sort of joined up effort to make change at this football club? It's been going on for too long. 15 years. 15 years of this ownership. I said when we won the Champions League, the Glazers are out. I said it when we won the league under Sir Alex, Glazers out. This is nothing new. But what's happening is it's like a house. You know what this is at Manchester United? It's like that house on a cliff, and you think, why have they built that there? Their garden's being eroded. And every year, them waves are smashing up against that cliff, and the garden's eroding more and more, and it's getting closer and closer to that house. And I tell you what, that house is falling into the sea. We are being eroded year on year by the Glazers, but we're getting more used to it year on year. We're becoming more apathetic. We're fighting amongst ourselves. People will be watching this and going, oh, look at that Forest fan twat. He's not from Manchester. He doesn't know what he's on about. He don't go home and away. Does it really matter? Put the club first. Are we not united by being United fans? We've got to start doing something to get this club back because it's falling into the sea. I'm not messing about. I'm not making a statement for a bloody little clip. We are falling into the sea. There are people in organisations who maybe need to be picking up the phone, maybe need to be speaking to each other and saying, look, what do we do together to sort this out? Because it's going very, very wrong. You can't keep saying we need a director of football. You can't keep saying the Glazers are just sucking money out the club. You can't keep saying Ed Woodward and co are bank managers, they know nothing about football. You can't keep saying that, and then when we get results like this, go, let's sack another manager. It goes from top to bottom, and what we've never changed in the last 8 years. We've sacked loads of managers. We've brought loads of players in. We've sold loads of players. But what we've never changed is the owners, the CEO, and the board. It's time for change. How do we bring about that change? Who's going to bring about that change? We need to change as a fan base and stop fighting amongst each other and start fighting for the thing we love, Manchester United Football Club. Few super chats. Please smash a like on the video, by the way. Smash a like on the video if you're bloody Glazers out, because it's about time we started being together on this. Maguire was just as bad as Lindelof, gave the ball away so many times under pressure. Even Sancho would have been redundant in that game, says Twisted 8725. I agree with that. You know, people saying we need Sancho, we need Sancho. Of course we need Sancho. But I don't think he would have got much of the ball in that game. Ollie got it wrong with McTominay. We lost the midfield battle from minute one. If you I coach. You play FIFA. Whatever. It doesn't matter. If you have some involvement in football, if you lose the midfield battle, you lose the game. It's as simple as that. We lost the midfield battle. So saying Jadon Sancho was here today, we might have won the game, but we still would have lost the midfield battle. And we lost the midfield battle. And I don't understand why I went with McTominay, because there's a line, isn't there? The definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing again. Well, we've done two things twice here. Last season at home, we lost to Crystal Palace. This season at home, we lost to Crystal Palace. Last season away, 2 months ago, we played Scott McTominay and he was shit. Today, we played Scott McTominay and he was shit. When are we going to learn from the mistakes? When are we going to, at the end of the day, I could be really blunt here and say, when's the favouritism going to stop? Fred has played well in a United shirt for the last year. And in our last game, he played very well as a CDM when Matic didn't play. We've gone back to favourite Scotty again. Oh, we all love Scotty. Not as a CDM. Not as a CDM. People going after the manager playing right into the Glazers' hands, says Stian. Don't be stupid. Glazers were unhappy when Glazers out was trending. Don't shift the focus. I think that's very important, Stian. Do not shift the focus. Ollie is largely at fault for the match today, but not an overarching problem at the club, says Jerome T. Green. Keanu says, get those Glazers idiots out of my club. I've had enough. How many more years do we stand by players with potential? Rashford, Martial, James, Lindelof, McTominay, Fosu, Mensah, Shaw. Squad players at best, says Jamie. Yeah, you know what, though? It all goes into the same thing. The lack of investment in the squad. Ollie out. What is wrong with people? He's not being backed. We need to do something, says Adam Creighton. And I'm trying to figure out how David Moyes is any worse than Ollie, says Todd Hunter. And Chelsea says Bruno was shit today. Our favourite Rashford was useless. Believe in Ollie. Our best players were crap today. Even if you think about tactics, they didn't respond. They're acting like teens today. Even Sir Alex wouldn't win today. Such a mix in the live comments. It's really sad to see. Becken Lau says, Mark, here's a joke for you. We used to have a player called Wilfried Zaha, signed arguably by the best manager in football history just before he retired, sold by our worst manager in history. And Jared says, well said, Mark. Let's stand together. Glazers out. Mark, it's not either or. The boards suck, but Ollie is just as bad. I know, Brad, but and that rhymes. But if you go for Ollie and you go for the board, you dilute the conversation. You go for one or the other, and I'm saddened to see people going after Ollie because you're just diluting the real argument. We've been shit for 8 years. We've had 4 managers in that time. We've sacked 3. Are we going to sack another manager and let the Glazers off the hook again? We're not prepared for this season. That was terrible today. McTominay should not have played. His subs were too late. Some of the tactics were very poor. But we went into that season ill-prepared. We haven't done the signings. We need a centre-back and we need a right winger. They were the priorities. We have neither. Van der Beek was the 3rd priority. The first priority was a right winger and a centre-back. And we've got neither. And we lost today because of it. Because our defence was shit. Get those Glazers idiot out of my club. I've had enough, says Keanu. Should we do the player ratings? Because I think we do need to get this out of the way. And I think it's going to be rather embarrassing when we do it. But let me get this open. You know what as well? Our preparation for this season has been wrong. We look tired already. And that can never be a good thing. We look tired already. We look lacking confidence. We look clueless. It's very sad. It's very, very sad indeed. And I thought the whole back four was terrible today. I really did. I thought they were absolutely shocking. And I wish that wasn't the case. But we were. We were rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. I don't know what's going wrong with this here because it's not even moving. Let me get this going. Just while I'm doing this, please subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right-hand corner to do it. We're on that road to 840,000. Please do that. And we're going to go. We've had 10,000 people voting on their player rating, so we're going to do that now. And also, what I was going to say is, please smash a like on the video. Let's see if we can get 10,000 likes. The Glazers need to sort this bloody football club out because it's a farce, and I'm just sad. I'm really sad tonight. I'm not bothered about the banter from the rivals. That's going to happen. We know that. Of course it's going to happen. That's just the way of the world. I can't get this to work. It's just typical, isn't it? I cannot get this to work. There we go. Okay. So, David De Gea for me. Let me get the player ratings up here. Player ratings then. Here we go. Get my screen on. So, I'm surprised. I think people are going to give David De Gea a really low mark here. I'm going to give him a 7. I thought De Gea was one of our better. 5.3. 5.3. I think you're having a laugh. What did De Gea do wrong today? None of the goals are his fault. He made a fantastic save when McTominay made a mistake just before half-time. He saved the penalty that any other season he saved it, but because of these new rules he didn't. I don't understand why David De Gea would get a 5.3 if I'm absolutely honest with you. But, you know, that's your player ratings. I accept the fact that you're all very, very mad at the moment, so that maybe have something to do with it. But as far as I'm concerned, I would disagree with that. I thought De Gea played quite well. I can't. What the hell? Here we go. Fosu Mensah for me, I would give him a 4. Didn't think he played particularly well. 3.8. Yeah, don't disagree with you on that one. I've got to keep coming down every time. Let's get Lindelof. Lindelof, God, 1. 2. Fair play to anyone who gave him a 2. I wouldn't give him a 2. I thought he was, just thought he was absolutely trash, to be honest with you. Couldn't even give him, I couldn't give him more than that. Maguire, 4. Actually, I should have given him a 3. I agree with you on that one. I wouldn't give him much more than that. Luke Shaw, yeah, probably a 3 as well. 3.4, got better than Maguire. Fair play. I would have gone low, and he's one of my favourite players. I didn't think he played very well today. Probably wasn't as bad as Maguire and Lindelof. McTominay, 1. I thought he was trash. I thought he was absolutely useless, and I thought it was criminal that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer kept him on the pitch. I thought, he's just not a centre defensive midfielder. Look, Scott, if you watch, I like you. I think you're a good player in the making, but you are not a centre defensive midfielder, and I feel sorry for you having to play in that position because you're just not a centre defensive midfielder. Absolutely awful. And one of the things about McTominay that really matters, it's not the fact that he got skinned, it's not the fact that his passing was off, it's not the fact that he gave loads of fouls away. It's the fact, it's the momentum of the team. The CDM is so important. It's, Carrick used to dictate the play. It cost us so much. Paul Pogba, I've got to give him a 4. Really, really bad. 3. Yeah, I don't disagree. I think that was probably about right. Poor performance from him as well. Bruno, I would actually give him a 6. And the only reason I would give Bruno Fernandes a 6, and I get the reason why some people have given him a 4.3. I think as an attacker, he was very poor today, but his effort levels were way above anybody else's. And look, effort in a Man United shirt should come as standard, but it didn't today. His effort levels, his running around, he was our best defender. Like, Bruno Fernandes was our best defender. So I've got to give him at least an average score for the work rate and effort in this defensive play. As an attacker, yeah, he wasn't very good, but look, he did put the work in. Marcus Rashford, 3. Poor, really poor. This is our this is our worst game in ages. Like, this is our worst game under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer by a long way. The only other game I can think of that comes close is Everton away, but this is at home. I cannot tell you how much we could have lost that game 4-5-0. It was absolutely terrible. I mean, Dan James got to get a 2, hasn't he? He wasn't, he was off at half time, which says it all, and just could not get in the game. I'd probably give Martial a 5, to be honest with you. I think he didn't play well, but again, lack of service, not good. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I mean, realistically, you've got to give him a 3. You've got to give him about a 3, haven't you? 2.4 on that one. And that means that my man of the match. Okay, now we've got no subs. Oh, Donny van der Beek. I haven't got a picture of him yet. 6. And my man of the match. I think I would give him my man of the match as well. I mean, simply because there just wasn't much more to choose from. Submit your vote. See who your man of the match was. Oh, for God's sake. I tell you what, I feel like just punching this computer. Oh, stay calm. Oh, it's done it again. It just keeps closing off the bloody window. Just let me stay on the window. Donny van der Beek, man of the match with 84% of your vote. It just shows you everything, doesn't it? It shows you absolutely everything. So where do we go from here? I think that Manchester United are going to have to make signings. I think they're going to have to make signings very soon. I think we basically I'm talking about transfers here, and I'm talking about the future. We've basically bantered ourselves. We've bantered ourselves, right? We've tried to play hardball with Dortmund. We've made ourselves look idiots. We've gambled on points to get players in late and play hardball. We've lost points. We're now desperate and we haven't got the players we want, so we're going to have to pay the price anyway. If we buy Ismail Sarr instead of Jadon Sancho, they can go fuck themselves. Like, Manchester United board can go fuck themselves. Like, that is a joke. Like, Ismail Sarr is not a player that is better than Greenwood or Rashford, and why spend £40 million on a bench player? Jadon Sancho is better than Rashford and Greenwood for double the price for a reason. We have got to go and sign Jadon Sancho. But what we've actually done here I mean, just sit back and enjoy the idiocy of what United have done. They played hardball all summer on players, right? They've missed out on players. The only reason we got Van der Beek quick was because Real Madrid couldn't get him anymore and Van der Sar helped us out. We've gambled points away, trying to play hardball, going to the back end of the transfer window. We've now lost those points. We've not lost in an unlucky way. We've been beaten comfortably. We're in a bloody mess. Confidence is on the floor. We've still not got the players in. And if we want them, we're going to have to pay for them. So we've actually wasted all the transfer window for no reason to lose points in the league and now have to go and pay what we wanted, that we were told to play anyway. We've bantered ourselves again because we've got idiots in charge who do not know the world of football and make loads of money, and are sat there with a big grin on their face thinking, we don't know anything about football, and all this money comes in. But the reason the money comes in is because Manchester United will always make a lot of money because of you and me and every other United fan who loves the club and wants to buy the shirts and wants to watch them on the TV and wants to go to games. They get money for nothing. They bought our club on debt, and it's been a cash cow ever since. They think they make good business decisions. They think they make good footballing decisions. They don't. They had the world's greatest manager ever in Sir Alex Ferguson, who could have won you the title with Stoke City. Since he's gone, reality is bitten. No manager who is a normal manager can do anything with that United team with the way it's run. We have bantered ourselves. We have lost points today, and we are trying to play hardball on transfers that now we can't do that. We're either going to have to pull out of the deals, and it's going to be a bloody nightmare season, or we're going to have to get the deals done. And also, when the deals do get done, and we're all celebrating signing Sancho or whoever we're going to sign, remember, this should have been done before the start of the season. We've already lost 3 points. I said it at the start and I'll say it now. Manchester United board today have cost us 3 points. They gambled not doing signings, thinking we would win without them, and we didn't. And it serves them bloody right, and they should reap the whirlwind of that as well. They're a bloody joke, and they're running this club like a joke. And I'm fed up of it, and I'm sure all you are as well. We staying outside of UK are doing all we can. The supporters from UK need to take banners to the stadium and do some real protests as not a nerd. Welcome to the Members Club BT. I despair because I'm Glazers Out, but Glazers Out doesn't exist. It can't happen. Man United is a public company and the voting shares are structured so the Glazers always have controlling interest. They sell when they want, not before, says Sean Finity. Steve D is the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Thanks for joining. Ricardo Dunkley says, hey Mark, I've already started unfollowing all of United social media accounts. We aren't in the grounds to make our voices heard. We need a change. United spent $1 billion since Sir Alex retired. The managers they bought in just not been good enough, says Liam Daly. So you're Liam Daly. Are you Ed Woodward by any chance? Are you Ed Woodward under a pseudonym? Because you're talking out your arse. We've spent $1 billion. Do you not? It doesn't matter if we spent $2 billion. Doesn't matter if we. I love this argument that we've spent $1 billion, so it's on the managers. Do people not listen? Do they not do their research? I don't care whether we spent 3, 4, 5 billion. The point is, the managers don't get given the players that they want. So it doesn't matter. We've spent badly. We've spent badly is the bottom line. Louis van Gaal said most of the players he got money, and he had a good couple of $100 million. And Mourinho said the same. All this money that was spent was on players that were not my first priority. So it's not on the manager. It's not on the manager. Because the managers consistently have not been given the players that they want. They've had money spent, but on the wrong players. It's on the board. You need to wake up to it. Stop making excuses, Ed, and actually have the balls to come out under your real name. Anyway, look, please subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. Smash a like on the video. We nearly got 10,000 likes, so we've got 40,000 people watching, so please smash a like on the video. The fan cams are coming in. In fact, they're ready to go. I'm going to end this video and get the first couple up. So let's see what Ricky and Co and Flex and everyone's got to say. Thanks, everyone, for watching. I think I'm shocked. I'm shocked. I haven't even digested what's happened. I can't believe what's happened. I mean, everything I've just said to you, everything on the watch along, it's just words. There's a lot of passion there. This hasn't sunk in what's happened yet. Speak to you all soon. Thanks for watching.